Hi guys, and welcome to another week of What's for Dinner.
All right, I am caramelizing some onions here on the stove top. I put in about 2 or so tablespoons of butter and I sauteed them for a little bit, and then I added in some water just to kind of get the softening process going. And then I'm just going to let these cook until they really caramelize really well. This is going to be the topping for my cheesy barbecue brisket sandwiches. I just thought this would be a fun little twist to add to those sandwiches. So the kitchen smells super great right now.
And this is kind of what inspired this. 99 cents on the markdown rack for a 24 pack of King's Hawaiian. Yum, yum, and what a deal. We smoked a huge brisket and I had some leftovers, we always do, so those went in the freezer. That's going to be the meat for this. I'm going to use mozzarella cheese, some Sweet Baby Rays, and these onions, and these sandwiches are going to be over the top delicious. I already know it.
Look at these, they're coming along. The smell is getting more intense in the kitchen. I love an onion just about any way you slice it up. I love an onion. Caramelized, yes please.
All right, I've got my glass 9x13 pan out here and I have sliced through my buns. I leave the bottom just a little bit thicker typically when I make these type of sandwiches. That way they can kind of withhold whatever's going to be piled on top of them. So we need the bottom to be a little bit thicker typically on a sandwich like this. The barbecue sauce is going down. I'm just going to start building these. I did not have an exact recipe I was following. It's just kind of the idea of, I think they're called funeral sandwiches. At least on Pinterest, there's a lot of different type of little slider sandwiches that are called funeral sandwiches, and that's basically because I think of the butter and brown sugar type of topping that you put on them. Oh my goodness, they're so good. Just about any way that you build them, they turn out really, really well. So I decided when I found these markdown Hawaiian rolls and I knew I had this brisket, that these would be amazing, hearty little sliders. And so here we are, just this brisket has been thawed out and I am just piling it on. And I had so much brisket, more than I thought, I decided to go ahead and put in another little 3 section of the Hawaiian rolls. So I stuck that in there and I'm just going to keep on adding on this delicious brisket meat, building these sandwiches. All right, and now we're going to start layering on these caramelized onions. They are so flavorful. We had a great onion harvest this year in our garden, and a caramelized onion gets really, really sweet and just really does provide a whole lot of flavor. And I just thought, you know, this would be kind of a fun addition to this sandwich. Instead of just more like a barbecue beef brisket sandwich, we have just an extra added layer of flavor with these onions, and honestly, it did really make them over the top. And now we are coming in with the mozzarella cheese. Any type of good sort of stringy cheese when it melts would be great on these type of sandwiches. You could do a provolone. You could really just put whatever you wanted. I happen to have this shredded mozzarella, so that's what I was using. And we are coming back in with some barbecue sauce on the top. That helps to hold the buns in place. Now, once you have that on, put on the tops to these delicious little Hawaiian rolls. And a tip there is when you are slicing them, slice all the way through to the bottom. That way they come out of the pan pretty easy. Now we're going to start working on the topping, which I really think makes these so delicious. We've got some butter melted. We are putting in some Worcestershire sauce. We are adding in a little bit of mustard, and we are putting in some brown sugar. I will have the full recipe for this topping mixture below. You definitely don't want to skimp out on this. I'm telling you, it is so flavorful and delicious. Now, a lot of recipes for these type of funeral sandwiches are to be in the refrigerator for like 24 hours with this sauce on the top, so it really like soaks through and really saturates these. I have never done them for that amount of time, but I do usually make these a little bit ahead and put the sauce on them, and they go in the refrigerator for a little while. I have also made them when I put the sauce directly on and then they go in the oven. You're not going to mess it up either way. It makes these so good. Yes, they're sticky and messy. Who cares, right? They are delicious. So once you get this all mixed up, you just want to spread this all over top. These little sandwiches are great with this sauce made with like a ham and Swiss. I've done a variety of sort of insides for these sandwiches using this same sauce. Now I'm going to go in with my Trader Joe's everything but the bagel. These put on top just make such a fun little addition. You could also just use plain sesame seeds. I've done that before. And now I'm going in with a little bit of parsley, and here they are, so delicious. If you spray the top of your aluminum foil before you put it on your sandwich and kind of tint it a little bit, it'll help it not to stick if your sandwiches are kind of sticking up over the top. Now, I was taking these to a pitch-in dinner, so I'm not able to show you what these look like when they came out of the oven, but you can imagine they were beautiful, golden brown. And remember to look below. I will have the recipe, including the bake time, all the details you need to know for this delicious recipe down below in the description box.
Alright guys, I am making a recipe for Texas tortillas. I have showed this recipe on my channel before. It's from my wonderful little cookbook with my write-in recipes. I have a lot of my very best recipes in there. I do not know where I got this recipe. It's been years and years, but they're like a little pinwheel, a little appetizer. So what you need is a block of cream cheese. You need 8 ounces of sour cream. You need a can of green chilies. And the olives, I think it calls for 2 or 3 tablespoons. I'm just using that because that's what I have left. And I wanted to say that olives freeze really well. I've said this before on my channel too, but you can use what you need out of a can of sliced olives, throw them in a freezer bag in the freezer, and they're perfect for the next time. Which, like pizza or a recipe like this that you're throwing it in, they come out perfectly. I just kind of squeeze some of the water out as it thaws out, and you're good to go. So we have some olives. We are also going to use some tortillas, and we are going to use a half a cup of shredded cheddar cheese. The only thing that this recipe calls for that I do not have is green onions, and I don't have any of those today, and that is not a make or break, so I'll just leave those out. Basically, you put all your ingredients together, put them on the tortilla, roll it up, and serve it as a pinwheel. So I will get going on this, and you can come along. All right. The recipe calls for half a cup of cheddar, shredded cheddar. I actually have, this is a chipotle cheddar blend here. So I think that's going to be great in this recipe, but just regular cheddar is fine. You could use pepper jack, just whatever. We're going to throw in the olives. I'm going to open up my little can of green chilies and get those in. Green chilies provide a lot of flavor. And then 8 ounces of sour cream. Now, the original recipe says to put in a food processor and you blend it until it's smooth. I never do that. I always just stir it like this, spread it onto my tortilla. By the time it gets spread on, rolled up, they have to be refrigerated before you cut them, and then sliced. I just don't find it's really worth the extra effort, and I kind of like that it's a little bit something more chunky in the tortilla rather than just like a smooth flavored cream cheese. So that's kind of my thought on it. And when you do it in the food processor, it doesn't, I'm sure, get completely smooth. So I just never have gone that route, so I'm going to show you here the next step. All right, so I spread out my tortillas on a freshly cleaned countertop, and that way I see, normally, you know, I may have a whole package, I may not have a whole package. Today I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I have 7. So I will use these that I have, and since I have them all laying out, I can portion the cream cheese out just like it needs to be. I'm starting off probably with about that much, so maybe, I don't know, 3 tablespoons. There's no exact measurement to this. Let me show you what I've got here. I've got close to an equal amount on each tortilla. I'm just gonna spread this out. I'm gonna show you, you don't wanna overfill it. And then if I need to move some to the next tortilla, I can do that. All right, we're just gonna start with this one here. And you're just gonna spread your mixture. I like to get it out to the edge because I don't want to get a piece that's just tortilla. I borrowed some from the neighbor. All right. That's kind of what we want to go for. That's about the right amount, okay? Give or take, like I said, it's not an exact thing. So let's get started on the next one. I've shared this recipe on my channel before. It's been a good while. I also want to take the time to say thank you so much for supporting my channel, for watching my videos, for giving these a thumbs up. YouTube likes thumbs up. It helps them with the algorithm and different things. It helps my channel with the algorithm and different things. YouTube will push out some videos if they see that there's some thumbs up. They know people want to see that or like the content. So when you give a thumbs up on my video, it really does help me out. And of course, when you subscribe, that just means the world. So I appreciate that so much, you guys. These are so great for parties, get-togethers. They're pretty quick. Tailgate, football, holidays. Okay, and see, that worked out pretty perfectly. I've made these a ton of times though, so I pretty much have the drill down. So let me show you here. All right, and then you just gently roll. So I just kind of take the first little bit and pull back because I want to make sure I have some filling in there. And then you just start rolling. And when you get to the end, if something squishes out like hugely, you can just kind of remove that. You can use your spatula if you don't want, but your hands are your very best tools. Okay, so that's kind of the glue that holds that edge together. And you just roll them up and set them aside, and then I'll show you what's next. Texas tortillas all rolled up. Now the key, I feel like, to these just being over the top is how you proceed before you slice these. So your tortilla bag is the perfect container for these to be placed in before you slice them up. So here we go. All right, I have 2 Bounty paper towels that have been dampened with water, and I'm going to place these tortillas in the paper towels. And I used to roll them one by one, but I have found that you don't have to do that. And I've told you before here on this channel, I like to take shortcuts. So there's a couple. Here's a couple. I'm actually just going to go ahead and put these last 3 on here. Maybe do this one up here. Okay, and so we basically have, whoop, one fell out the bottom, our tortillas rolled up in these damp paper towels, and we're going to place those down inside the bag that the tortillas came out of. Okay, if you discard your bag, you can place them in, I'm going to get one more paper towel here in just a second. If you discard your bag, just place them in a Walmart bag or a Ziploc container, a Ziploc bag, just whatever. Okay, let me grab one more paper towel for these. No need to overcrowd completely. We don't have a paper towel shortage after all, huh? All right, here we go. Let's get these added in here. Okay, and then I'm going to zip up my bag. And before time to serve these, you slice them up into pinwheels and put them on a platter. You can serve some salsa, say arrange these around a little bowl of salsa for dipping, or some ranch. I've never served it with ranch, but you could also do that, or you could do salsa and ranch mixed together. That would be tasty, but I normally just serve them with some salsa or picante, whatever you prefer. So yeah, I will show you these when I get these out to slice up. Now, I find that, you know, at least a couple hours ahead of time, you want to get these in the fridge. They just get really soft. It's just perfect. Magic happens here. So I will show you these when they're ready for the next step.
And the Texas tortillas are all sliced up and ready to go. These are very, very delicious. I get asked for the recipe anytime someone who hasn't had these tries them. They love them and ask for the recipe. So I hope you enjoy these if you make them.
Alright guys, we are feeling spaghetti and meat sauce tonight. So I am browning up ground beef, a green pepper from our garden, and the pile of caramelized onions that you see there. I'm getting ready to stir those in. That is from where I caramelized a big pan of those yesterday to go in our brisket sandwiches, which by the way were so incredibly good. So I am pulling together here the meat and veggie portion of my tomato sauce. Now here I have 6 tomatoes fresh from the garden that need to be used. So I'm just boiling these for a couple minutes so I can pull the skin off, take out the stems and any places that are bad, and then I'm going to toss those back over here, use my meat chopper, chop those down, so that'll give it a little bit of a chunky tomato to the sauce. And then I will put in some jarred sauce. I did make a big batch from scratch the other day, but I'm not going to use that just yet. I'm going to use these fresh tomatoes and then a jar of sauce that I have in my pantry. So I'll show you as we come along. Okay, to the ground beef and the green pepper, I added in the tomatoes that I showed you, and I put a little bit of garlic powder and some salt, and it's just simmering away here. So I think this is going to be a really delicious sauce. Oh, of course, I added in the jarred sauce. It was the Classico organic. I think it's tomato, onion, and peppers. I believe it's the big jar from Costco that you can get in the 3-pack. So yeah, there's our sauce simmering. Okay, to go along with our dinner, I'm going to make this box of the Great Value garlic breadsticks. This will be our first time to try these. I've seen on other videos that they are very tasty from what folks say. I'm going to do these in my air fryer. So I looked up air fryer directions for frozen garlic, well, not garlic, just frozen breadsticks, and it says 4 minutes on 3 something or other, 50, 30, something like that. So we're going to give these a shot in the air fryer. It would take my oven twice that long at least just to heat up. So that's going to be a pretty cool trick if these work out great in the air fryer, and I'm sure they will. So I'll show you when I get them out. And there they are. The smell in the kitchen is so intense. They smell really delicious. They look beautifully golden brown. 4 minutes. So what a great trick in the air fryer. Alright, and here is my bowl of angel hair pasta with my delicious meat sauce. And I love ricotta cheese so much, so I put a dollop of ricotta on the very top. I sprinkled some Parmesan cheese, and there's my breadstick from the air fryer. Sometimes you just need a bowl of spaghetti. Looking forward to this tonight. Pretty quick, pretty easy. Used up some garden produce. It's gonna be delicious. Hey y'all, we're having a very simple country supper tonight. Self-explanatory. I am cooking these green beans. This is our last batch of fresh green beans from our garden. We picked, well, let me rephrase that. James picked, and then he took down all of the green bean vines and plants and whatnot and got that all cleaned up. So these are fresh green beans from the garden. Fresh potatoes from the garden, and super excited about this. This is turkey smoked sausage. I love the, I think it's Parkview brand from Aldi. The turkey smoked sausage, I love that one. So there's my green beans, potatoes, and smoked sausage. And then, the start of the show, at least for me, fried okra is one of my most favorite foods ever. I don't have it that much, but it is one of my very favorites. I grew up on it. My grandparents raised it. My parents raised it in their garden. Funny thing, I don't think we've ever grown it in our garden. So this is fresh okra out of our son down there in Abigail's garden. And so they shared a good sized bag of okra with us. So I am frying some up. A tip on okra, what I do is just cut off the stem and the tip after you wash it. Slice it up into pieces. I put a good amount, well, not overboard, but I try to salt it then, so salt and pepper, and then I coat it with flour, and then I spray my pan real well with cooking spray, because that's the thing, this does take a lot of oil or bacon fat. So I coat my pan really good with cooking spray to start, and then I am using some bacon grease to fry it. You could use olive oil or coconut oil, whatever you want, but I'm using a bit of bacon grease. It'll give it great flavor. So I just fry this up until it's crispy. I always use a slotted spoon to get it out of my flour mixture. That way you don't put a lot of extra flour down in the bottom of your pan, because you don't need that. So there we go. Tonight, just a little simple country supper, garden food. Probably slice up a couple of these tomatoes we got right here. And we're actually going to eat out by the fire tonight. So this is what we've got going on for just a quick supper tonight. Alright, here we have it, green beans, sausage, a potato, a little piece of the sausage that I fried separate with some mustard on it, the okra, garden tomato, and garden onion. So there we have simple garden supper tonight.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed taking a look at some of the things we've been eating around here. I hope you found some inspiration. Be sure and check the description box below for all the recipes. Like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe if you've not. I would love that. Hope you are enjoying this fall season, and I'll see you the next time for a brand new What's for Dinner.